Good day, everyone. So, how's your weekend? I'm sure you had a great weekend last week. Now, before we start, my dear students, may I request our prayer leader for today to lead us in a word of prayer? Thank you. Now, may I request our secretary, Mark, to check the attendance? Thank you so much. Okay, for today, we will have another activity or lesson. Are you excited? I'm sure you are excited for today. Now, our topic for this morning is all about requisition form. Okay, but before I explain more about a requisition form, I will first explain our house rules. So, number one, you should listen and participate. Okay, so if you have something to share, you can share it to the class. If you have something to say or if you have any idea, you may, for as long as they are related to our topic. Okay, next, you should take down notes because later on we will have an assessment. So that will help for you to answer the assessment or quiz later on. And of course, wear a smile and enjoy our lesson. Okay, so requisition form. This is under LO2 or Learning Outcome 2. Last week we had LO1 or Learning Outcome 1, which was about electrical tools, materials, and equipment. Now for today we will have this learning outcome: request appropriate electrical supplies, materials, and tools applicable to a specific job. So another lesson. So under this learning outcome, we have a requisition form. All right? Now, for our objectives, we have the following. Letter A, define what requisition form is. So you will know the definition of a requisition form, and you will also know the use of it. Next, explain the parts of a requisition form. So there are certain parts in a requisition form wherein you will learn later on. Okay, next, create a requisition form for electrical tools and materials. Now that's for your assessment. Before we begin with our lesson, let's have a review first. Okay, again, our lesson last week was about anyone? Thank you, Sandy. Now, it's about electrical tools and materials for the task. Okay. Sige, now, this is very simple. You will just identify the given tool on the screen. Okay? You will tell me, okay, the name of the tool on the screen. It's very simple. I will just give you 5 seconds to answer. Are you ready? Yes, indeed. Very good. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. What's the answer? It's screwdriver. Very good. Okay, so left side, that's flat screwdriver, while on the right side, that's Phillips screwdriver. Again, Phillips screwdriver. That's not star screw. It's Phillips screwdriver. Okay? Next. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. So what's your answer? Very good. It's electrical pliers. It's not plies, okay? Because when I say plies, langaw na siya. But when I say pliers, that's the tool that we are using when we utilize any electrical equipment. Okay? So next, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, the answer is multimeter. On the left part on your screen, that's what? Very good. It's analog. Okay, analog multimeter. While on the right side, it's very good. It's digital multimeter. Wow, very good students. Okay, let's start our discussion with a game. Okay, our game for today is called What's the Word? Alright, what's the word? So, this game is very simple. You will just identify the synonym of the given word. What do you mean by synonym, teacher? The words or word related to the given word. For example, give me the synonym of the word boy. Very good, it's male. Yes, it can be man. Very good. Okay, so as simple as that. Are you ready? All right. Okay, so cost is the word. Is it A, remittance, or B, price? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, the correct answer is B, price. Very good. 1 point for those who are correct. Next, description. Is it A, explanation, or B, type? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. What's the answer? Very good. It's letter A, explanation. Okay, the last one, we have total. Is it A, sum, or B, partial? 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. The correct answer is very good. It's A, letter A, sum. Okay, now this time we will discuss about requisition form. Okay, so what is requisition form? Requisition form is a document that a person uses to request items. Now, if you want to request or to obtain or to acquire some materials for your project or for your job, you need to have a requisition form. Alright? So, in a requisition form, that's the form wherein you will write your requested items. Okay, so it's very simple, right? Hmm. So what's the importance of creating a requisition form? Why do we need to create a requisition form? Okay, first, when you request, you will obtain the needed materials for a specific job. So obtain the needed materials for a specific job. Okay, next. Of course, we can ensure the validity of the requested items. We can assure that the request is official. Okay? So if you will just write using any paper, that's not valid. Okay? So make sure that you will use request slip or requisition form. Next, of course, to procure records. We can gather records of the requested items for inventory. Okay? That will be given to the supply officer. So, when we say requisition form, it is also similar to receipts and inventory form. So, when you buy some items in hardware or in any shops, you can see that it is similar to the requisition form. So, later on, I will show you the format of a requisition form. So for now, you are quite confused, but later on you will understand, okay? So next. Alright, so to better understand about the process of requesting materials, I will give an example. Okay, this one. In a company, there is a supply office. Did you get it? Again, a company, there's a supply office. For example, in Maan National High School, we have a supply office wherein we can get the things that we need. For example, in your modules, right? We can get paper or bond paper or ink, anything related to the school. So we can get those materials in our or from our supply office. Okay? So in a supply office, there is a person who manages it. Okay? So naay naga-manage dito. The person who manages the supply office is what we call the supply officer. Now, supply officer, when we request, we give the requisition form to the supply officer. Now, sila ang mag-collect sa requisition form. Did you get it? Okay, so sila ang mag-gather. They are the ones who gather the requests and, of course, supply the requested items. Did you get it? All right. So, finally, this is the format of a requisition form. As you can see, there's number or item number in the first column, quantity, unit, description, unit cost, and total cost. As you can see, it is divided into how many columns? 5? Are you sure? Alright, correct. It is divided into 6 columns. Very good. Okay, let's start with the first column. The first column is what we call the item number. Okay, this is where the examples are numbered. Say we have 2 items to request. Thus, we should put 1 and 2 in this column. If you have 5 items to request, then you will just write 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you will itemize the numbers or the materials you want to request. It's very simple, right? Yes, indeed, it's very simple. Okay. Next, quantity. Okay, in this column, the number of pieces of the requested items are placed. Okay, for example, we request 5 pieces of screws. Thus, we will write 5. If we want to request 3, let's say, electrical pliers, so we will just write 3. As simple as that. Did you get it? Very good. Next, we have unit. Okay, so the third column is unit. Unit is a term to indicate measurement for example, a kilogram, meter, and piece. Okay, say you want to request 5 sacks of cement. So you will just write sacks. Okay, if it's by kilo, then you will write kilogram. If it's by piece, then you will write piece or pieces. Did you get it? So make sure that your unit is correct. Alright? You cannot put 1 sack of screws because you know that's very plenty. Daghan kayo na. Okay? So you should write the correct or exact unit, specific unit. Alright. Next, description. So description is the name of the item itself. For example, you want to request hammer, then you will just write hammer. For example, screw, as you can see on the screen, so you'll just write screw. It's very simple, okay? Better if you will write the specific name of the item. For example, electrical plier. Okay, what's the brand name? Okay, you will write the brand name. So it's specific or it is specified. Okay, that is better. Okay. Next, unit cost. Okay, unit cost is the price of each item. For example, on the screen, the screw costs 5 pesos. Tag 5. Tag 5 na lang. Okay, 5 pesos. So you will just write the price of each item. Okay? The item, only one, not all items. Okay? The price of each item lang. Okay? Katong isa lang. Okay? So screw, 5 pesos. Alright. So how can we get the total cost? Lastly, again, we have total cost. Unsaon pagkuha sa total cost? Simple lang. We will just multiply quantity and unit cost. Again, i-multiply lang nato ang quantity ug unit cost. For example, on your screen, we have 5 for the quantity and 5 for the unit cost. So 5 times 5, what's the answer, Rico? Very good. It's 25. That's how we get the total cost. Are you ready for the activity? Kindly prepare any piece of paper, and you need to write the answers. Okay, so let's start. Alright, so for your activity, you will just fill out the following. So there are blanks on the format, and then you will just fill it out or fill them out with the correct answer. Are you ready? Of course, you need to provide a piece of paper and a pen. And you need to write the format or draw the format. So I will just give you 5 minutes. Marie, do you have any concern? Since we have time, okay, I will give you 8 minutes to answer the activity. Right? Shall we start? 8 minutes starts now. Alright, time is up. So let us know the answer. For number 1, it's unit. Again, as I said a while ago, the third column should be unit. Next, we have number 2. What's the last column? It should be total cost. Total cost. Yes, we have number 3. Number 3. What's the answer? It's 85. It's 85. Since the quantity is only 1 and the total cost is 85, therefore, the unit cost is 85. For number 4, it's pieces. Since we are writing or we have electrical pliers as example, therefore, we will just write pieces. If it's cement, then it's by kilo or sack, not by meter, okay? Next, we have number 5. For number 5, the answer is 90 because the quantity is 2 and the unit cost is 45. 2 times 45 is equal to 90. Alright. Now this time, let's have the assessment. Since we practiced a while ago on how to make it, now this time you will create your own. Now for your activity, you will create a requisition form using electrical tools, equipment, and materials. So you will just choose one electrical tool, one equipment, and one material. Okay? Again, one electrical tool, one equipment, and one material. Yes, you may. If you want to make more than one electrical tools, equipment, and materials, you may. For as long as your computation is correct, because we have a criteria here. Okay, so I will read the criteria. Number 1 is correct itemization of example. So dapat tama ang imuhang pag-itemize. Pagsulat sa unit cost, or sa total cost or any part of the column. So dapat tama. It must be correct. Accurate computation of costs. So sa unit cost, dapat tama ang imuhang pagbutang sa presyo. For example, if it's screwdriver, it's not piso. Di na tag piso, di ba? So, you should write the approximate price of the item or the item, okay? Next, legibility. Of course, you need to make it readable. Dapat mabasa. And lastly, we have neatness. When you make or draw the format, make sure that it's clean. So there will be no erasures. Alright? Sige. So, the total points for your activity is 25 points. Very simple, right? Okay. Alright, so you are all done. Very good. Congratulations. Now I have some question here. Actually, questions. Because I have two questions. The first one is, how does the lesson help you when you buy any materials from shops or stores? Alright, Marco, do you have any idea? Alright, that's correct. How about you, Mika? Yes, that's also right. All of your answers are correct. So when we buy from shop, we can determine if the written amount is right. So, di ba, they will give you a resibo. Okay? Especially when you buy some items from the hardware. So, when you buy, there's a receipt. Receipt. So, on the last part, you can see the amount. So, you can compute if the amount is correct. Same as sa requisition form. Diba? We solve the total cost. So, same as sa resibo. We can use the knowledge that we have when we buy some items. Because, if there's something wrong with the amount, kulang ba ang cambio, the change is lacking. Okay? So, therefore, we have to check it. I-check jud nato na para di ta malugi. Lastly, what is the importance of learning about creating requisition forms? Any idea? Dave? Alright. How about you, Sandy? Yes. So the importance of learning about creating requisition form is there comes a time, maabot ang panahon, that you will become an employee and you are tasked to request some materials for your project. Hatagan kag materials or magpa-request ka og materials. So, kabalo na ka kung unsang buhaton. Ba, you already know how to do it because I taught you how to do or how to apply, how to create a requisition form. Ba, that's the importance of learning this discussion or lesson. So, I hope that you really learned about the lesson for today. For your assessment, look for any receipt in your house and create a Venn diagram. Unsa man ang Venn diagram? Two circles, diba nga gi-combine? So it is divided already into 3 examples or 3 spaces. Alright? So, again, look for any receipt in your house and create a Venn diagram that differentiates requisition form and receipt. So, i-differentiate nimo ang kalahian sa requisition form and sa receipt. And in the middle part, you will write the similarities. Alright? So, that's all. Do you have any questions? None? Very good. Okay, so I hope that you really learned about lesson 4 today. That's all for today, and goodbye, everyone. See you around. Good day once again, teachers. So this time I will explain the strategies that I had, that I used during my discussion, and I will also explain if I hit the indicators stated in our COT. So first indicator is apply knowledge of content within and across curriculum teaching areas. So for my motivation, I connected the activity with the subject area or subject English, wherein they identified the synonym of the given word. So that's connected with English, right? So for the activity, they were also tasked to solve the total cost of the item. So they were given time to identify the quantity or the total cost using quantity and unit cost. So they calculated the unit cost and quantity to obtain the total cost. So that's related to math, right? Okay, for indicator 2, plan and deliver teaching strategies that are responsive to the special needs of learners in difficult circumstances. So for those learners who cannot go online, they can use the modules, the activity sheets that I made. So they can answer the activity and the assessment as well as the discussion, the content of the discussion. They are there already in their modules. So if they cannot go online, they can just browse their modules and answer it. So that's useful for them. Okay, for the strategies, when we talk about the strategies that I used the traditional way of giving instructions to the students. I had motivation, discussion, activity, and assessment. And another thing that I applied is cooperative learning. Okay, when we say cooperative learning, students are grouped to answer a certain activity or assessment. So I grouped them a while ago and then I let them answer the activity. So using that activity or strategy, they can develop their self-confidence as well as enhance their communication and critical thinking skills, which of course are vital for their development. And they also had time to bond with their classmates. Thus, it creates camaraderie among peers. And lastly, for indicator 3, select and develop using ICT, activities using ICT. So I just used PowerPoint presentation for the presentation, of course, per se, and Google Meet so that students can connect with me and can learn from me using the medium Google Meet. So I think that's it. Thank you very much, teachers, and God bless po.